Hello everybody, June here, long time no see. As you can see, I am back home where I keep all my machines in one corner because I have no room for them. So I pull them out as I need them. But anyhow, as you guys know, if you've been either watching my videos or follow me on Instagram, I have spent the last, I don't know, probably like 5 months or so in Europe doing research. I spent some of that time in Spain, in Seville, and I spent the rest of that time in London. And you know what my souvenirs are? Fabric. So today I'm going to share with you the fabrics that I purchased while I was in London in the last few months. I did a fabric haul for my purchases from the beginning of the year where I also spent about 3 months in Europe between January and March, and I'm going to leave a link to that video somewhere down below or maybe in one of the cards here. But let's get started. I'm gonna start with the fabrics that I bought in Seville, and before I get started I want to say that I did a very detailed blog post about fabric shopping in Seville City Center, which is pretty great. The fabric shopping, not the blog post, although I think the blog post is great too. So I'm also going to leave a link to that down below if you want to go check it out, if you're ever in Seville and you want to go buy some stuff. There's even a map in that post with all the fabric shops that I talk about, which is pretty comprehensive. So anyhow, go check it out. The first two coats of fabrics that I'm going to show you I bought at a store called Galerías Madrid in Seville City Center. And it is one of the bigger stores, but they have all kinds of fabrics there. And this is a, I want to say very light terry because it's slightly loopy in the back, and then it looks like interlock in the front, and it has these cute little glittery hearts. And the minute that I saw this fabric, I knew that I absolutely had to have it. I bought 3 meters of it, and it was €13.75 per meter. And I don't know what I'm going to make with it. If I'm honest, all of this is stashed fabric. I didn't buy it with any one project in mind. And it's pretty stretchy. And it looks like it would be not difficult to sew with. If you sew with a lot of thin jerseys, you know they tend to roll sometimes. But this one looks like it's going to be alright. The next fabric from that store is this rayon border print, and it's going to be very hard to show you here because the screen is just not wide enough. But this here, let's see if I can finagle this. This here is the border. This is a selvage. So if you wanted to use the border as your hem, you would have to cut your garment on the cross grain. Yes, on the cross grain, which can be a little different than cutting things on the regular grain, on the straight grain. But I thought it was so pretty. I love the color. I mean, I obviously love the border, which is why I bought it. But it is flirty and funny enough without being childish, which I think a lot of border prints tend to be slightly childish. And then the rest of the fabric has these little white flowers and little black hearts and black dots. But I bought 3 meters of this fabric, and it was €12.50 per meter. And it is a viscose, it's a rayon, but it's actually slightly thick, so it's not slippery like, for example, challis, which tends to be very difficult to work with. It's really great. It has like a slight texture to it. It's hard to explain, but it is so pretty, and these little birds kill me. It's adorable. The next fabric I bought, I think, was probably the most expensive fabric that I purchased on this trip. This one is from a store called Sales, and it is 34 euros a meter. It is a 90 euro linen, and because it was so expensive I only got 2 meters, and it's actually pretty narrow. So I have no idea what I'm going to make with it, but I thought it was beautiful, and it was cheaper than buying 90 euro fabric here in the US. so I thought that that was like my best shot to get this fabric. And it's very lightweight, so it hasn't been washed, but I think when I wash it, it's going to drape really well. I'm gonna have to find something pretty small to make with it, because like I said, I only have 2 meters and it's very narrow, but I love the color so much. It's just so pretty, and it feels so great. If you've ever held a cheaper linen before, you probably have noticed that it can be like slightly rough, and there's none of that here. It's just so amazing. It's a loose weave, but it looks like it's pretty strong. Anyhow, it is so pretty. Like, I just want to wrap myself with it and do the rest of the video wrapped in 90-euro linen. The next 2 cuts of fabrics I bought at a store called Julian Lopez, which I discussed in the blog post about fabric shopping in Seville. This store has a lot of different fabrics, everywhere from really, really expensive Scottish wool to what I'm about to show you. And it is not that the fabrics I'm about to show you are cheap in that they're poorly made, but they were bargains. One was $1.99 a meter and the other one was $2.99 a meter. The first one is this black and white striped shirting. It's cotton, and this one was $1.99 a meter. I bought 4 yards. These I found in their sale stacks, which is in the top floor of the store if you ever go there. And wow, $1.99 for a cotton shirt, and it is really nice quality. I thought that it would make a change from blue, which I tend to do a lot of, as you'll see in a minute. And for $1.99, like, you really cannot go wrong. The stripes run up and down the grain, so they are vertical stripes rather than horizontal. And yeah, it's just really great quality cotton shirting for $1.99 per meter, which is amazing. And the next one is another shirting. This one was $2.99 per meter, and it is blue and white striped, and it has these prints on it reminiscent of amusement park rides, but it's actually Brighton, as in England, Brighton themed. There's a carousel here, there's a Brighton pier, there's some of the rides at the pier. So the palace at Brighton is there somewhere with these little banners, bunting banners, which I thought were really cute. I thought that shirting tends to be either a solid color or maybe stripes like that red and white one, but I thought this added like a whole other level of, I don't know, interest. And it is not kiddie-ish, even though it has this almost carnival-esque prints on there. But again, like I said, for $2.99 a meter, it was a no-brainer. And I think I actually got all that they had left, which is why I only got 3 meters. And it is so cute. And it has a slight hand texture to it. So the stripes are not painted on there. They are woven and they feel different. You can feel the ridges from the blue to the white, which I thought was very interesting. Yeah, so $2.99, great deal. I love it. Stash fabric. I have no idea what I'm going to make with it. That was all for the fabric from Spain. I'm going to show you one cut of fabric that I bought while I was in Lisbon. I went to Lisbon for one weekend and I just happened onto a fabric store. I wasn't looking for it, but it was there, so it was fate. And so I started looking through their stuff, and I didn't actually have any room in my suitcase because I had just gone for the weekend, like I said, and I carried on, and my carry-on was pretty full. But they had these bins full of remnants that they were selling by the piece, so I started looking around and I found this. I hope that you can see it. They are shoes. It is a stretch fabric, and I'm pretty sure it's polyester. And I think there's probably 1 1/4 yards in here. I haven't measured it, but it was total $3.95, and it folds small enough to fit pretty much anywhere, so I thought this would be a great souvenir for my little weekend in Portugal. I do really like it a lot. I've seen a lot of fabric with shoe prints on them. I love shoes, so I look this stuff up all the time. And a lot of them can be slightly garish. This one is really not. It's just little black shoes with a red outline, and it is so cute and so cheap. Okay, so now we start with the fabrics that I bought in the UK, and I am going to begin with the cheapest fabric that I bought there. It is this rayon elastane Ponte, and it is cream, and it has like really dark navy dots, and I bought 2 meters of this. It was £10 a meter, and this one I actually purchased with a project in mind a few months ago, so back in August. I bought in the UK t-shirt, I guess, that it was the same sort of fabric, different print, but the same type of fabric, and it had these, you know, like, not bell, but slightly ruffly sleeves after the normal t-shirt sleeves, and I wanted to recreate it because I liked that one so much, so I bought this for that. Obviously I haven't done anything with it because I just got back like a week and a half ago, but this one is the one the only one that I actually bought with a purpose, and I only bought 2 meters like I said. John Lewis still had a lot of it, so you might still be able to find it. The next 2 cuts of fabrics I'm going to show you I bought at the Village Haberdashery in London, and they are both Lady McElroy fabric, so they are beautiful. The first one is this slightly wild print, and it is mostly green. I bought 3 meters of it, and when I bought it I thought that I would make like a summery calisher dress from Classic Ace Patterns, but then every other fabric I bought in London after John Lewis I thought that I would use to make a calisher dress, which is probably not a great idea, but that is neither here nor there. This fabric is so beautiful, and I mean it feels so great, and the print is pretty big, so it's a little hard to show on camera like this, but I shall try. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it looks slightly blush from what I see on the camera, but it's actually a cream background, but it is so nice. And I should mention that they sell this fabric by the quarter meter, and each quarter meter is £3.75, looking at my receipt here. And so I bought 12 units, which is 3 meters, for a total of £45. So while it is not cheap, it is also not terribly expensive, and it is great quality. Lady McElroy fabric is very good quality. The next one is the same sort of fabric and a different print. This one is also botanical print, but it is pink on a slightly cream background. And for this one I only bought 2 meters, and the price was the same. It was $3.75 per quarter meter, but I only bought 2. I don't know why. I initially told her 3, but then I changed my mind and I only bought 2. For this, I also envisioned a calisher dress, but like I don't need that many calisher dresses, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Stash fabric. And the last 2 cuts of fabric are from Liberty. Whew, where do I even start? Liberty of London is an experience. The whole store, but the fabric section and even the yarn section is an experience and a half. Oops, there's fabric falling in the background. Anyhow, I went to Liberty looking for a specific fabric, which they didn't have the first time that I went. But of course, I was not going to leave empty-handed. So I had a pretty hard look, and I found something that I liked, which is, I mean, really not that hard. It's just this. It is blue, which I love, and it has some kind of flower that look like hydrangeas, but I don't think they are actually hydrangeas. It is, of course, Tana Lawn, which is what Liberty is famous for. They do make silks and they do make like jersey fabrics, but the Tana Lawn is their main thing. I believe that I bought 3 meters. I can't remember for sure, and I don't have the receipt with me because the people at the VAT refund at the airport took it, but I think it was 24 pounds per meter, which is a lot. Not as much as €90, but still quite a bit. I think that with this, I am going to make a robe. I feel that, you know, this fabric is so precious that I need to make something that I am not going to outgrow because I, you know, either lose weight or gain weight or what have you. So I think a really nice robe would be something very nice to make out of this. And if you go to Liberty in London, they also sell clothes made with their stuff, with their fabric. And they had some robes there with fabric like this, and they were beautiful. And it just feels so great. And I haven't washed it yet, as I said, I haven't pre-treated it. But it just feels so great, and I think it would just be perfect for a robe. It probably wouldn't be able to be a long one because I only have 3 meters, and it is not terribly wide. But I think that's what I'm going to do with it. I mean, it's not narrow either. I think that's what I'm going to do with it. That's it. I'm going to make a robe. That I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to make a robe with this sometime. But yeah, so this was a bit of a consolation prize the first time that I went to Liberty. But then I went back. And when I went back, they had the fabric that I was looking for. And before I show it to you, I want to tell you, I know, okay? I know. Ta-da! Oh my goodness. It is wildly colorful. I know. But it is so fun. It is also Tana Lawn, and I think it was the same price as the other one. But it is just, like, I don't even know what to tell you. It is wild and it is crazy. And I thought that I would make a jumpsuit with it, but it's pretty light. So I don't know if it would work for a jumpsuit, but I don't care because I'm going to find something to make with it because it is just beautiful. And something that is not a robe, something that I'm going to go out and people are going to see it. And they're going to turn their heads. For better or for worse, this fabric is going to turn heads. Look at all those colors. I forgot what it's called. All these fabrics have names. I'm just going to call it like the wild botanical print. I mean, I don't know. I look at it and I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. Other than I love it. And I know. It's wild. I know. So that is all the fabric that I bought in Europe between August and December? Yeah, August and December. I hope you have enjoyed it. There's a lot of fabric. I literally have no idea where I'm going to put everything. If you could see the rest of this room, you would be horrified. I have no room for anything. I have no room for fabric. I have no room for clothes made from fabric. But that doesn't matter because a stash is life. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.